Hi, I'm David Partika, and I created CSS Burner as a rapid optimization tool for CSS. Now, as part of the continuation of this playlist, Finding Common Errors, which is on the Optimized CSS channel for CSS Burner, I'm going to show you a very easy to make mistake that I myself have done because as developers, we have too many tasks in too little time to complete them. And the problem with this kind of error that I'm going to show you, it's an error involving a style sheet update. The problem is that it's difficult to diagnose. It's easy to make because it's small. It's difficult to diagnose, and it will cause potentially massive changes on the look and feel of your application, which management will notice right away, and they'll be very unhappy with you, and they'll just tell you to fix it. That's where CSS Burner can come in. CSS Burner can help you find these mistakes quickly. So let's go over this scenario. Suppose that you've just received a Jira ticket, and the ticket wants the font size, let's say, to be increased for this right container. So they just want it to be larger than it is. All right, so normally we would make our changes using an IDE like NetBeans, but I'm not going to do that right now because you won't be able to see it on my screen. So I'm going to paste the CSS and just scroll down. I know where this rule is. I'm going to scroll down to right container, and here it is. And we see that there's a 14 pixel font size. So the Jira just wants us to increase this. So, okay, no big deal. I have a million things to do. Let's just knock this out really quickly. So let's change this. Okay, 20 pixels, fine. And so I'm going to now copy this back into my style sheet. And I'm going to clear my cache so we can see the change. Now let's reload the page. Oh, what happened? This is definitely not what I want. The text area just collapsed to basically nothing, and I have no idea what went wrong here. So the problem is that I did make a mistake, which maybe some of you caught, and if we've made a series of changes after this mistake, we might not be able to control Z back to a previous state before the mistake was made. It might not be really, it might be risky to do this. So this is where CSS Burner can help you diagnose and find these errors very quickly. So what I'm going to do is, just because I need to get CSS Burner back to how it was, I'm going to fix the CSS, and I'm going to now take that broken CSS and I'm going to scan it. So I've now fixed the CSS Burner CSS. Let's clear our cache. And now you can see CSS Burner the way it's supposed to be. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to scan the broken CSS to see what the heck happened. So let's pick all the scanning options here. Let's scan this, and in a few seconds, we get a list of errors, and we see what the problem was. In this first error, there is a missing semicolon. The semicolon's been added. So let's scroll to it, and we see that in the right container, which we were working on before, there was a missing semicolon. So what happened was, and I'll go over it in a second. Let's unhighlight this and go back to Rule 108. And we see the green semicolon right here. Now, what happened was, let's reset and I'll show you. In my haste, I had pasted, let's scroll down to right container. In my haste, what I did, which maybe some of you caught, was I just highlighted the whole sequence of 14 pixels plus semicolon, and I deleted this with a backspace and forgot to re-add the semicolon. And when we're cutting and pasting, this can easily happen to us, but now because the style sheet isn't terminated in the correct locations with semicolons, this can cause a problem and can wreck the styles and look and feel of an application. And so CSS Burner does have, and let's see it again, it does have an algorithm in place that can insert, using a best guess estimate, it can insert the missing semicolon and show you what you did wrong, which in this case is I deleted that whole block and didn't put the semicolon back. So the algorithm can detect this and place the semicolon where it needs to be. So this is a very common error, but it's difficult to diagnose and can cause a lot of panic amongst management and developers because sometimes it's hard to track down. So this is how CSS Burner, and another example of how it can work for you. If you found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and look for more videos, losing my voice, look for more videos from CSS Burner's Optimized CSS channel for finding common errors. Look for more videos in the not so distant future.